In my last video, I have explained about instrumentation of flame photometry. In this class, I am going to explain interference in flame photometry. Interference in flame photometry. Okay, you can see here. Interference are generally occur during analysis of the sample. During analysis of sample, interference will generally occur. Here, what will happen if interference occur? It leads to the errors in the results. Okay, it leads to the errors. We cannot get accurate results if interference are occur during the analysis. Okay, here you can see types of interference. We have 5 types of interferences. Okay, background adsorption first type. Second one, cation interferences. Third one, cation-anion interferences. And fourth one, vaporization. And fifth one, oxide formation interference. Okay, these 5 interferences are commonly noticed in the flame photometry during analysis of the sample. Let's see one by one. Here, first one, background adsorption. Background adsorption. Okay, here this type of interference are occur due to the sample matrix or flame itself or scattering and adsorption by the similar alkali halides. Okay, it occurs. Background adsorption is commonly occur due to the sample matrix or flame itself or scattering and adsorption of similar alkali halides. This is background adsorption. Here, how can we prevent this background adsorption? How can we prevent? What is the remedy means? Here, use of gratings instead of using prisms. Okay, if we use grating as a monochromator, it will avoid or it will minimize these background adsorption interferences. Okay, background adsorption interference can be avoided by using gratings as a monochromator in flame photometry. Okay, here second one next, cation interferences. Here the name itself indicates. Here cation, this first one cation is the main element. Here other cation is which is not the main element. Here in the case of we can say that impurity. Okay, here it is other element. Okay, here this cation is other element which is going to interfere during the analysis of main analyte, that is this cation. Okay, here you can see how other cations will be interfere with this main element of cations. You can see here this occur due to the presence of other cations. Okay, this type of cation interference occurs due to the presence of other cations. Here these other cations are not the main analyte or not the main cation, another one. Okay, here it is also known as spectral line interferences, molecular spectra interferences, also known as spectral line interferences, molecular spectra interferences. Here this cation interference will occur by 2 ways. Okay, let's say the first one. Here first type is this type of interference arises when 2 elements exhibit spectra which partially overlap. When 2 elements, here 2 elements are both the cations, main element and other cation, or main cation or other cation. These 2 elements exhibit spectra which partially overlap. Here both the elements of spectra overlapping partially. Due to that, interference will be arise. And both emit radiation at particular wavelength. Here at the same wavelength, same lambda max. Here both the elements are emitting the radiation. Okay, that is the reason. And second reason is second lines. Spectral lines of 2 or more elements which are close, but the spectra don't match. Okay, here spectral lines of 2 or more elements which are close. Spectrum of both the elements which are very close, but their spectra doesn't match. Their spectra don't match. Okay, here these are the 2 ways which can cause by cation interferences. Here I have given some examples under cation interference. You can see here. First one, here iron which exhibit emission of radiation at 324.7 nanometer. Iron 324.7 nanometer interferences with copper at 324.8 nanometer. Here copper is the main element. Copper is the main element or main cation. Okay, here it exhibiting emitting the radiation at which wavelength? 324.8 nanometer. Here copper exhibiting or emitting the radiation at 324.8 nanometer. If the copper sample consisting iron, or if the copper is okay, contaminated with the iron sample, then what will happen? It will also emit the 324. It will also emit the radiation at 324.7. You can see here 324.8 and 324.7. Just 0.001 variation only. Here this results, if the copper is contaminated with iron, here it will also exhibit, it will also emit the radiation at same similar wavelength. So it leads to error in the analysis of copper. Here second example, iron at 285.2 nanometer interferences with magnesium 285.2 nanometer. Here magnesium is the main element. Here magnesium, okay, emit the radiation at 285.2 nanometer wavelength. Here if the sample is contaminated with the iron, okay, if the sample is also consisting iron means it will also emit same wavelength 285.2 nanometer. So it leads to error in the results. Okay, and third example, aluminum interferences with emission lines of calcium and magnesium. Here aluminum can cause, okay, can interfere with the emission lines of both calcium and magnesium. Here sodium and potassium matrix interfere with each other. These are the best examples for cation interference. You can see here iron is the cation, copper is the cation. Okay, iron is the cation, magnesium is the cation, aluminum is the cation, and calcium and magnesium are the cations. Sodium, potassium are the both are cations. Here cation is interfering with the, okay, another cation. Okay, here interfering with the another cation. That is about cation interferences. Then third one, cation anion interference. Here this cation is the main element. Okay, here this anion is the interference one. Okay, here this anion, here this time anion is going to interfere with during the analysis of cation. That's it. You can see it can occur due to the presence of anions. This type of interference occurs due to the presence of anions during the analysis of cations. Here certain anions present in the solution which decreases the intensity of radiation emitted by the cations. Okay, or main element. Okay, here if the solution consists anions, okay, in the cation solution, okay, here certain anions present in the solution which causes decreasing the intensity of radiation emitted by the cations. Okay, that is the thing. Okay, here the presence of anions will decrease the intensity of the cations. Okay, here some example I given that those are anions which interfere with the cations. Here oxalates, sulfates, phosphate may affect the intensity of radiation emitted by the cations such as calcium and magnesium. Okay, here oxalate or sulfate or phosphate, all these are anions which interfere with the analysis of the cations such as calcium and magnesium. Okay, these are anions. You can see all are negative symbol: oxalate, sulfate, SO4 2-, okay, phosphate. Here, which may affect the intensity of radiation emitted by cations such as calcium and magnesium. These two are here cations. Okay, here anions are interfering with the cations. Okay, what is the remedy? How we can prevent the cation anion interferences? Here we need to add EDTA, okay, ethylene diamine tetraestic acid or tetraestate, to mask the calcium in the presence of phosphate. Okay, add EDTA to the mask the calcium in the presence of phosphate. Okay, here this EDTA can make a complex with the anions or cations. Okay, that's why add EDTA. Okay, EDTA can make complex with anions. So EDTA to mask calcium in the presence of phosphate. What will happen if we add EDTA to the calcium? Here EDTA can it will mask the phosphate ion. Okay, by making complex with phosphate. So calcium will be free. Okay, we can simply analyze calcium. Okay, this is about cation anion interference. And fourth one is vaporization interference. Vaporization interference are two types. Here physical type interference, chemical type interference. Physical type means physical properties of the sample. Okay, it occurs due to the high viscosity by the presence of dextrose and sucrose. Here physical type interference will occur due to the high viscosity. High viscosity is the physical property, right? High viscosity by the presence of dextrose and sucrose. Here chemical type. Chemical type of interference. It is due to the presence of some acids. Chemical type of evaporation interference occurs due to the presence of some acids. Here this will be affecting the dissociation of other metals. If these acids are present means it will it will affect the dissociation of the main metals. Okay, so by this way vaporization interference will be occur. What are the remedies to prevent vaporization interference means? Okay, here choice of fuel and oxidant ratio, or choice of flame and choice of burners. Okay, by using this fuel and oxidant ratio or choice of flame. Here fuel and oxidant will decide the temperature of the flame. Okay, and choice of burner will prevent this vaporization interference. Here for example you can see choice of acetylene and the nitrous oxide flame. Here acetylene is the fuel and nitrous oxide is the oxidant. That I already given the list in the previous video. Okay, acetylene is the fuel, nitrous oxide is the and oxidant. Here if you use this fuel and oxidant ratio, here flame will be produced. These flame for thermally stable phosphates, sulfates, silicate, etc. Here choice of acetylene, nitrous oxide flame for the thermally stable phosphates, sulfates, silicate, etc. Here last one, oxide formation interference. Oxide formation. Here this name itself indicating. Here interference are occurred due to the formation of oxides with the metals. Formation of oxides with metals. Okay, you can see with arise due to the formation of stable oxides. Okay, this type of interference are arise due to formation of stable oxides with free metals. Stable oxide with free metal atom. If oxygen is present in the flame. Okay, in the flame, if oxygen is present in the flame, here this oxygen will make. It forms stable oxides with metal. Okay, it will react with the metal and metal oxides will be formed. Okay, due to the reaction of oxygen present in the flame. Okay, here therefore emission of intensity lower. Here therefore the emission of intensity of metal will be lower because stable oxides are forming. Here because of large percentage of free metal atoms have been removed from the flame. Okay, here large percentage of free metal atoms have been removed from the flame. If it has here more the metal atoms have been removed means the intensity of UV radiation will also be decreased because the metal atoms, which are in less number, so intensity also will be decreased. Here all alkaline earth metals are subjected to this type. All alkaline earth metals are subjected to this type. And remember, this flame photometry is mainly useful for the analysis of alkaline earth metals. Mainly for alkaline earth metals. You keep in mind that. Okay. Here, what is the remedy for oxide formation interference? How we can prevent? Means by using high temperature flame. High temperature flames to dissociate that oxides producing free atoms. Okay, if you use high temperature flame means we can here oxides will be dissociated with the atoms. Okay, this interference will be occurred due to the formation of oxides with the metal. Right? If you use high temperature, these oxides will be liberated from the atoms, so free atom will be obtained in the flame. And second remedy is by providing oxygen deficient environment to produce excited atom. If there is no oxygen means there is no stable oxide formation with metal, so easily the metal atom present in the flame will be excited and will be emitted the radiation. So these are the 5 types of interference in the flame photometry. Thank you very much. If you like the video, please subscribe and share to your friends. Thank you.